Welcome to Airborne from AirVenture 2025. I'm your host, Holland Lee. Coming up on our program today, Jack Pelton starts Oshkosh off with excitement for the future. Nighthawk has a new approach to cockpit displays and avionics. Deltahawk's Delta Force ignites a diesel revolution. These stories and more are coming up on this AirVenture 2025 special edition of Airborne-Unlimited. Today's show is brought to you by Dyer. Exciting Engineering produces some of the most capable and exciting airplanes in the world, and we're very pleased to have their support. First up, Jack Pelton kicks off AirVenture with excitement for the future. At the start of every AirVenture week, EAA boss Jack Pelton gives his thoughts on the days ahead.
Glad to have everybody back, and as you know, the theme for this year's AirVenture is 1 week with endless possibilities. And the theme was picked out with a very good point that we were trying to make, and that's that every AirVenture, we try to ensure there's something for everyone. And when I say that is that all aspects of aviation are represented, and then all demographics of people who are involved in aviation have something for their age group. That's been our goal, and I think as a result, we're seeing a lot of differences relative to crowd sizes. One of the biggest changes that we're seeing that is very important to us is bringing in more youth. And with the youth-free admission, we are clearly seeing on the grounds more families with young kids. Highlights for this week, we'll jump into that. A lot of companies are here showing off new technology. New, interesting, like Deltahawk with their engine and other folks that are here. And so that's one of the important things about AirVenture is that the ability to showcase and highlight those kinds of things here for the world to see. I was explaining to the secretary, he's kind of like, well, why and how does this all work? And I said, every manufacturer of anything aviation related, they know that once a week a year, they've got the entire audience of people who are interested in their products here to be able to see it, touch it, understand it, learn more about it. And so that's really what we provide as EA is to provide that facility and map, if you will, for them to showcase their stuff.
Nighthawk has a new approach to cockpit displays and avionics. Based on the work done by Sandel years before, the Nighthawk program has been born, offering extraordinary synthetic vision displays and a modular architecture that allows for growth and improvements as the operator finds the need. The result is impressive and surprisingly cost-effective.
So you guys have done an awful lot of work behind the scenes and now hitting Oshkosh like a storm. The technology I see here is encouraging. What was your thought process in bringing Nighthawk to reality?
We started about a year ago with the idea that we wanted to be in this space. As you know, we were already doing primary flight displays, but it's all about safety. We aim directly at coming to Oshkosh with a real product, ready to deliver. No vaporware, no view graphs, but hardware, and that's where we are today. The idea was that we wanted to provide a system to all pilots to let them pick what it is they want, not what we want them to buy. What do they want? What do they need? What can their budget support so that they can get airline level of safety into a general aviation airplane, particularly and ultimately in helicopters. So we concentrated on the graphics, and we brought our own graphics, and we created a digital twin of the Earth. And I think we brought world-class graphics to all of us that fly general aviation aircraft, and I think that's going to result in safety. I very much wanted to break out of stealth mode, if you will, when we had a real product. The FAA is standing by, ready to certify. We will have this system ready for delivery in Q4 of this year with the full blessing of the FAA. So I wanted to be hardware at the ready in the airplane operating before I made any promises to anybody. So that's why we're here at Oshkosh. We're ready to deliver.
Deltahawk's Delta Force ignites a diesel revolution. The Delta Force rolls on, with announcements of an agreement to build new 6-cylinder, 350-horsepower engines for the Bushliner program, as well as firewall forward kits for the RV-14, an example of which flew to Oshkosh from Oregon, boasting exceptional fuel savings. A little birdie tells us there are even cooler announcements to be had later this week.
Okay, Oshkosh opening day. Obviously, you guys have been making news the last couple of years in particular, with certification for the first engine in the background and so much in the future. It's got to be a really great feeling to be here under these circumstances.
It really is. I mean, it's the culmination of years of work and millions of man-hours of effort for the team at Deltahawk. To see it start to take hold and to see the interest that the industry is having across the board, really to find a better solution to replace avgas with Jet A is really exciting.
The Bushliner announcement, this is kind of intriguing. It's a fascinating project. It's based on a phenomenal airframe. I got a feeling this one could, quote unquote, take off.
Yeah, we've been in talks with Bushliner obviously for a couple of years now, and they really need the 350 horsepower, so they've, I would call it, maybe been patiently nudging us to accelerate our development of that, and I'm happy to launch the 350 horsepower V6 platform with the Bushliner, because I think when you talk about the simplification that they can have from an engine perspective and the ease of maintenance in the field and the access to Jet A versus avgas or even number 2 pump diesel or what, and military fuels, that I think the Bushliner represents a perfect marrying between, I'll call it, what's necessary for the keep it simple yet fly really efficiently type of a platform.
Outstanding. Also, there is now a kit for the RV-14.
Yes, we a year ago had basically an RV-14 frame in the booth with no wings and no engine and everything. This year we've finalized that kit development and we're taking orders for that kit now. We're really looking forward to the Vans community embracing this and having a really great platform for them to fly with.
Coming up after the break, major announcements from Hartzell.
Gabriel, Prime, Explorer, 3 versions of fun, all MOSAIC ready. Whether you are a flight school, a cross-country enthusiast, or you believe only a tail dragger is real flying, Black Shape has what you want. These fast carbon fiber aircraft offer road tax, Lycoming, and soon Titan engine options, plus advanced avionics, a ballistic recovery system, and long-range tanks. Performance, quality, and safety come standard for an exceptional flying experience.
Welcome back to Airborne, coming to you this week from Whitman Regional Field here in Oshkosh. If you've seen something especially cool around the AirVenture grounds today, tag Osh25Cool on your social posts. We'd love to check it out. And next, could Hartzell get any bigger? Exciting announcements at Oshkosh. We've been impressed with the growth and acquisitions of what started as Hartzell Propeller and now encompasses a number of companies working hard to produce accessories and gear for the sport, GA, BizAv, and even AAM markets.
Looking into the future, we're looking at this new thing called Advanced Air Mobility, or AAM. You're partnered with Beta, so you're moving with them, and I understand you're doing work with others in that space. Is there any major changes in dealing with the different types of applications for the different types of aircraft that you guys are, I'm sure, are already looking at?
Yeah, this AAM space is so intriguing because each one of these vehicles is fairly unique. You know, what Beta's doing with the Alea is truly pretty remarkable to have an all-electric type designed airplane for whether that's cargo or military or civilian transport, and to be able to do that with, you know, essentially a 5-blade fixed pitch ground adjustable propeller, which in our point of view is a fairly simple but a very efficient design, and that airplane just performs incredibly. And you know, again, as you mentioned, we've been working with them for 4 years now and really custom designed that prop for the Beta Alea and partnered with their electric motor. And so we're excited about that. We're excited about, you know, whether it's hydraulically actuated or potentially electrically actuated, or fixed pitch ground adjustable like with Beta. For sure, we're looking at different retention and hydraulic systems to be able to custom design what the market needs in this emerging space.
There's a new fly-in coming to Lakeland, the Affordable Flying Expo. Mark your calendar for November 6th through 8th, 2025 for a new generation of sport aviation events designed to give the flying and want-to-be flying public a calm and close-up look at the aircraft that may fulfill many a lifelong dream. The event is to be held on the Sun and Fun Aerospace Expo campus in Lakeland, Florida, one of the first sport and GA facilities in the nation.
My name is Jim Campbell. I am organizing in cooperation with some exceptional people a new winter fly-in to replace the great fly-ins of the past that have occasionally been held in places like DeLand and Sebring. Fly-ins that were phenomenally well attended, but just needed a little bit more oomph to be successful. And that oomph for us is a partnership with the Sun and Fun Aerospace Expo, in which they are allowing us to use their facilities, one of the best sport aviation facilities in the land, in order to bring grassroots flying to prominence. Real simple. We all know how expensive aviation is, how difficult it can be. It's regulated, it's this, it's that. The concept behind the Affordable Flying Expo is to have a simple, even intimate environment where people can get up close and personal with the airplanes, with the manufacturers, take a ride, put hands on, go to workshops. How do I build a rotor for a Zenith? How do I put an engine in this and that? What about avionics? And hear people talk about the learning process as well as all the processes to come in regards to maintaining currency and flying, and talk about the reality of being an airplane pilot and an airplane owner. What's this really all about? We're going to be using hangars A and B, C if we need it. We're trying to keep it simple the first year. 2/3 of the hangar will be available for exhibits. 1/3 of the hangar will be workshops, seminars, forums, and a town hall on Friday, which we will webcast live. There will be plenty of demo flying. The idea is for people to get out in front of these and get in the airplanes and get a chance to really feel what they can do. Come out, get involved, enjoy, and more important than anything else, get educated so this hopefully post-MOSAIC industry can do and be all that we envision.
Gleim has made an artificial intelligence DPE that's just like having your own examiner at your fingertips. There's a certain terror in facing a DPE, especially when your confidence is a bit shaky. But Gleim has designed a way to give you a confidence and knowledge-building DPE of your own via the wonders of AI and the extensive knowledge base created by Glime Aviation.
Garrett, tell me first, what is new with Gleim? Give me Gleim 101.
So we have the digital pilot examiner, which is an oral exam prep guide because we know many students are not passing their check rides. And we actually launched that with you at Sun and Fun. And then we're following up today with our cross-check, which is a program that allows flight instructors to track and make sure their students are doing everything so they're actually ready for the check rides. We've always been the cutting-edge company. My father started this Glime Aviation in 1980. We were actually doing accounting before that as our history as accounting professor. And so we're always looking at cutting-edge stuff. We were the first online FERC. And so we looked at for AI and how it can really improve people, and we thought the best pay dirt for somebody was actually the DPE product we have. But we're going to be rolling out more AI into more of our products. We have some other ideas too in education. So we're really looking at reinvesting into technology to help people learn because there is a pilot shortage, there's a need for pilots, and we're excited for the future.
If somebody is looking at getting into aviation, they come across GlimeAviation.com, and that's great that they are starting to look and use the web and so forth and so on. How would you like to engage with a new pilot, a new customer?
Oh, we love talking on the phones, I'll tell you that. We have a whole team who are aviation experts. Some of them are military pilots, but all of them are pilots, and they would love to speak to you on the phone to try to understand what you're actually trying to do. You know, some pilots are not actually looking for a career in aviation. They're just looking to fly recreationally. So we can advise you accordingly, and sometimes reading from a page on a website wouldn't give you all of that information, especially through somebody who has plenty of experience in aviation. We would love for people to call us. If you call us, the person who picks up on the other line will be an aviator, and we're happy to talk to you.
After the break, a segment from our annual interview with EAA's Jack Pelton, all about what MOSAIC will mean for EAA.
Looking for a new generation of proven and efficient aviation power plants that boast modern engineering, electronic ignition, and both direct and gear drive systems? With 100 horsepower to 240 horsepower, the Skyline and Redline engines offer uncommon value in an overpriced industry. Whether you are looking for fixed wing or rotor, MWFly Americas has been established to service the American market with dedication and expertise. MWFlyAmericas.com.
There's a world far beyond the city lights, beyond control towers and paved runways. That's where Hartzell flies. Hartzell carbon fiber props, stronger, lighter, faster, delivering unmatched performance, relentless durability, and raw power for those who demand more. So here's to untamed skies, faraway places, and the prop that's always ready for what's next. Hartzell propeller, built on honor.
Welcome back. Every year before the show, we sit down with EAA's Jack Pelton to hear what's been going on with the industry and the organization. He shared some insights into the expected MOSAIC announcement coming on Tuesday and let us know how impactful it will be to EAA.
One question on everybody's mind, I got to lead in with it. MOSAIC. Where do we stand? What do we know? Fill me in, buddy.
We do have a guest coming on Monday, the Secretary of Transportation, and he plans on having a press conference on Tuesday. And I don't think he's coming here to do a press conference to say everything's great in Wisconsin, as based on his role. And then the FAA Administrator number 2, that's Chris, that's in charge, last Saturday at Tarkio at the air show, he said, "Jack, we can't wait to get out to AirVenture because we got something that you've been waiting for a long time." To me, it's probably going to be one of the most influential pieces of change that are going to occur in general aviation, and I think it's going to lead to the kind of a resurgence of general aviation as we have known it over the years, because it removes a lot of hurdles. At EAA, we're referred to it as half the cost, half the time, and all the fun.
What does MOSAIC mean to EAA?
From a flying standpoint, I mean, we've been all in on continuing to support LSA and Sport Pilot and push that as an entry point. This just enlarges, makes that very, very large as far as how you can now get into aviation. So our role will be to educate people on how that can happen. And then the nuances associated with, are you coming in just as a sport pilot on a driver's license medical? Are you out there today flying an airplane that now qualifies on basic med? There's lots of interesting pieces to that. There's the other piece of it is it will allow manufacturers then to manufacture under an ASTM standard versus a Part 23 certification. That's a whole new world, and they have to write. I mean, they'll get this reg out, but they're then going to have to write what that standard looks like and all the pieces of it, which includes every propulsion system you can think of, other than other than the reciprocating airplanes we have today. But it has electric, it has diesel, it has the UAS element to it. It's got all sorts of things that are different, and I'm anxious to see, because I keep hearing lots of words from manufacturers and specifically more component suppliers that want to go put in envelope protection. They want to do lots of things that they didn't have a path through Part 23 to do, or it was too costly or too time to do it, as to where that's going to go. Because I think that's where the real innovation is going to come, is how do they get that into the ASTM standard to be able to produce products that we've never seen before that have more capability and than what we've ever dreamed of. The other thing for the existing kit manufacturers, it makes a easier door for them to actually then manufacture planes. Mm-hmm. So that will be interesting to see how many elect to do that.
Amazing stuff.
And tomorrow, we hear from Jack about what's next on EAA's agenda now that MOSAIC is on its way. Inside
the walls here, people are saying, "Hey, can I celebrate and take take some time to reflect and enjoy MOSAIC because, we think that's the biggest and we're done. I said, Monday morning after AirVenture, we're going to sit down and we're going to go through the list of things that we got to roll up our sleeves and dig into, and they're all of the things that you're talking about. We hold on to a healthy degree of paranoia, and so with that, we turn it into, you got to keep fighting. You got to keep, don't ignore these issues. They're real. And if we don't stay in front of them, they could catch up and get us.
Thanks again to today's sponsor, Daher. Between the Kodiak series and the speedy TBM 960, Daher builds airplanes that keep the aviation world going where they need to. And that's our show for today. Be sure to stay up to date with all the latest from Oshkosh on YouTube or aero-news.net. We'll see you back here tomorrow.